Last year, the BBC turned off all their standard definition channels on satellite, and the only way to watch BBC on satellite is to have an HD box. Here's the story. So, BBC launched a channel called BBC HD, a high definition BBC channel, and it was the only channel in HD as BBC 1, 2, 3, 4, CBeebies and CBBC were all standard definition channels. This continued until 2010, when they launched BBC One HD, an HD version of BBC One. However, that meant we had BBC One HD and BBC HD. Then in 2013, it was replaced by BBC Two HD, and later on, BBC 3 HD, 4 HD, News HD, CBeebies and CBBC HD all launched. In 2010, when BBC One HD launched, it didn't offer local versions, so whenever the regional news appeared, it was told whether BBC One HD cannot yet show programs in your area. However, even though BBC One in England didn't get HD services, BBC One in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland did get HD services. As BBC One Northern Ireland HD was launched on the 24th of October 2012, following the conclusion of the UK digital switchover, which saw BBC One Northern Ireland and UTV and analog services, making Northern Ireland the last UK area to be running on analog TV. Then in 2013, BBC One Scotland HD was launched on January 14, 2013, and then eventually BBC One Wales was launched on the 29th of January 2013. Then in 2014, BBC One Scotland HD, BBC One Wales HD, and BBC One Northern Ireland HD was launched on Sky, Freesat, and Virgin Media. Though BBC proposed the idea of BBC One HD in England in 2013, it had been approved by the BBC Trust, but did reject the plans for a BBC 1+1 channel. But finally, 12 years later, after the channel launched for BBC One HD, BBC announced that BBC One will go HD in England. This move was announced on the 22nd of November 2022. This move started on Sky Glass, followed by Virgin Cable. Then in 2023, HD programs are launched on satellite. With the launch of the HD channels in England, local news began on March 22nd, and the remaining regions on April 26, 2023. Alongside that, BBC Alba HD, BBC Red One HD, and BBC Parliament HD also launched on satellite. However, BBC's standard definition services were shut down on satellite. The This Is BBC One HD program was replaced with the This Is BBC One SE programming. And whenever a regional program is even on the air, it said on the left side of the screen, from Monday, January 8th, 2024, BBC TV and radio service will only be available on HD-enabled satellite equipment. To continue to receive BBC services, you need to upgrade. Now, I won't recommend typing in these numbers in just because of this video. If you want a free sat receiver, visit hdsatellite.co.uk or call, I'm just saying please don't call the number, 0330 123 1876 for more information. Sky TV customers should visit www.sky.com/help/BBC upgrade. These were captured on shows while being very annoying, making us a full screen message appeared during ads, which again became highly annoying. They said this standard definition version of BBC One on satellite will soon be closing, and BBC service will only be available on HD enabled equipment, and you know the rest. That's not what I said, but you know the rest of the message. However, if you're an HD customer and genuinely want to watch SD, you can let me just do it. But when the local news is on, just watch BBC One HD in your region. Eventually, On January 8th, 2024 at 10:54 AM, all BBC services in standard definition went to a screen that saying it had closed. This included BBC One, 2, 3, 4, CBBC, BBC Scotland and BBC Alba. However, Freeview was not affected by this, and eventually, from what I've seen, I knew it about since 2023, and was curious about the screen it would get, and the channels were removed from your TV guides when it happened. It even happened on my Skybox, it was also removed. And for actually anyone who are curious, ITV also shut down their SD channels, mainly for ITV1, ITV2, ITV3, ITV4, ITVB as well at the same time. However, STV didn't shut down its standard definition channel. So if you're in Scotland, you can still watch STV standard definition on satellite. So there you go. That's the BBC shutdown for standard definition customers. As it is according to the BBC when the services were closed and said that Freeview was unaffected, I want to know, do you still have BBC services on standard definition or was it shut down since I have no clue about Freeview? I'll see you all in my next video. Subscribe to LelandDJF1, and if you want more extra LelandDJF1 content, it's all going to be on LelandDJF1 Extra. Make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye, and peace out.